Michael, so I heard that you're having a bit of trouble with your drawing, and I wanted to help with your anatomy problem by means of guidelines. Hold on, while it loads. Alright, so I'm gonna open this file, new, and I'm laggy.
What's impossible they forgot. This world keeps spinning
And file. Oh, wait, okay.
And as the surface breaks, reflections fade. But in some ways they
File open. And I'm going to open your drawing right here. And I'm going to have to pick a very prominent color. I'm sorry. And I got a message. Alright. So, in terms of this, I would say you need to improve on guidelines. So I'm going to try to pick a color that you can see well from my swatches that I believe you showed me how to do, but they were so cute. Alright, so you have the head here. Your cranium seems very proportionate, and that would be the chin, and the chin cuts off abruptly there. I'd assume that'd be just your style. So there's all the cheeks, and the eyes are there. Yeah, that makes sense. But what's been bothering me was these shoulders. Right, so this needs to extend outward to the cranium. I have no idea how this pose works, and I'd really need how to. So then the chin would cut off right here. But I want to show you where the shoulder collarbones would be. Probably about right there, I think. And the shoulders. In this sort of position, I don't see how high that would go right there. So I'd suggest to go a bit lower. Or not. I know is that arm, the muscle is far too small. So this should go more outwardly to here. And you'd have chubbier arms. This would go out to here. That would be the wrist bone right here. And then your fingers and the phalanges. And that would be smaller. Alright, and for this would have to dip down lower. And I'm trying to make this as pointed as possible. See? That would have to go, oh no, that goes over there. Your shoulder, I don't see how that bends that way. This would have to be either more outwardly to here, like to where the end of the hand meets, and then out to here. But for that sort of position, this whole shoulder is messed up. I don't mean to be rude, but it's terrifying. I'm just glad I don't bend that way. If you wanted the arm to go out to here, then that's where your elbow would be. But there's a certain length that this would come to, which I would suggest goes out to here. That seems pretty proportionate as it is. Then you have your phalanges at the end here. Phalanges! The arm. You see, I don't get how this works. Just the shoulder? How would you like that to be? Because if you wanted this to be higher up to about here, then your shoulder blade would have to be this sort of motion, and then the arm would bend in some strange fashion, more along the lines of like this. Yeah. I just hope this makes sense in some way. I'm having a hard time understanding what I'm doing as well. Then the back would go out to here. See? And if the back went out to here, he'd be far too skinny. I don't mean to bring down your artwork or your enthusiasm towards it in such a way, but what I wanted to point out was how this arm would be bent. I mean, I really like this piece as it is, but this right here, where this awkward arm muscle thing goes, that would look a little strange. See, that would be where your shoulder blade meets, and the neck would have to be longer. Like a giraffe almost. And the back would have to do this more in a somewhat curved fashion. I'll be sure to send this to you, so you may or may not use it as a reference if you'd like to look at it. But I just thought I'd show you what my idea would be. I don't know if you're open to criticism or not, especially from me. I have no idea what I'm doing. But this is just what I thought. If you wanted the arm to go out like this, then it would have to do this sort of motion, and then your shoulder blades would be there, and the neck would be there, and this, I think this arm is just perfect. This, perfectly glazed. Except for the star here. Would that go in between the fingers? I think it would. Anyway, this is just how I thought things would look. You don't have to take my advice if you don't want to. I didn't want to type a paragraph telling you basically, you suck, because I thought it would be a little mean. But I thought I'd show you rather than try to explain it, because if I tried to explain it, it wouldn't make any sense. I don't think so. I think this looks just okay. Except for the thumb here. The thumb would go behind the blade. Then that would be like that. Then you would have the rest of the fingers somewhat sprawled. That is an awful finger. That's just how I thought it would be. You may or may not use it as you please. Thank you for listening.